He president is called.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Nice organ playing.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I
Nice
appreciate
one,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that's
I
sweet.
love it when you hold the last note again. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for paying attention. I don't know who all looked at that. Okay.
Gotta be in the zone up there.
We live?
We're live.
Okay. It is 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting of the Morrison City Council to order. Unfortunately, our clerk is absent. City Administrator Brian Melton will perform some of the functions of the clerk tonight, and I'd ask him to call the roll.
Alderman Bruckner.
Here.
Cruz.
Here.
Mahaffey.
Here.
Schlegel.
Here.
Terrell. Tickler.
Here.
West. Here. Zaidaba.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Charles Yost has signed in for public comment. Yes, please. We have a microphone turned on.
Not that important, you've heard of this.
You're okay. Yep.
Everyone has a information sheet on the Goldfish Show in September at Morrison Tech. And it's going to be a free show. You know about that. And it's going to be on the Friday before they paint the town. And all the information there is pretty much complete. And they have, come in, mostly women sculptors and me. I'm not calling the show Charlie's Angels.
Ooh.
And there's gonna, that's why it's called 20 for 25. So there's gonna be 20 sculptors. We'll be there for 2 years.
All right.
Any questions for that? Oh, I'm looking for committee members. My phone number's on there, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
See you in September.
Thank you. Okay. Reports of officers, heads, commissions. We have chiefs. Stand in, sit in. Is there a chief's report? Police chief?
I can just add one brief thing, just that two of our officers, Officer Misfelt, Officer Drowns, were spending the week up in Mount Carroll at a SWAT officer school, so
Okay,
they'll be up there for training all week.
great. All right. Nathan?
Volleyball is over now. We had 47 for that. Next Monday starts spring soccer. We have 120 kids so far. So we'll probably have a few more that sign up, by Monday. Everybody's favorite bingo is this Thursday right here at 6:30. So we're hoping to break 50 people. We had 49 last time. And, the sports complex obviously open, and we have concessions open, and high school, softball and baseball been going on, even though it's been really cold outside. They're still playing. So that's it.
All right. We have the treasurer's report in the agenda. Is there anything else you want to add?
Nothing to add there.
All right, thank you. Consent agenda, there are 7 items. Minutes, payable, treasurer's report, a couple of proclamations, a street closure request, and the planning and zoning minutes. Does anyone wish to remove any of those items from the consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve the 7 items of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Mahaffey,
Second.
Tickler. It's on the table for further discussion. Are there any questions, comments regarding the consent agenda? It does involve money, so we need a roll call vote. Would you please call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Terrell, absent, Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Zeidler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, for action items, the code enforcement officer, the position and posting starting on your page 23. We have a job description. In summary and then detailed. Is there a motion to approve that job description and posting?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions about the job description or how we are going to post this? If not, we can do this by voice. And when we get a candidate with dollars associated with, we'll do it by a roll call. Are all those in favor of the posting and position description, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Today was a bid opening day, and we have two bid awards to discuss. First, let's start with the South Genesee Street Improvement Project. And there should be a piece of paper on your table. And which one are we looking at?
One, the IDOT.
Okay, so that would be landscape orientation. I will ask the city administrator to tee this up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we posted the bids for the South Genesee project, South Genesee being from the railroad tracks to Winfield. The bid was due last Thursday, and that's when those bids were opened, and we received four. We had 5 originally that took out the bid information, but we only had 4 return bids. And they were all, except one, below the engineer's estimate. But the low bid that met all the certifications and requirements of the bid is Helm Civil at $308,830.60.
At this time, it would be appropriate to have a motion to approve the low bid. Now it's been moved and seconded. It's on the floor for discussion, questions, amendments, comments.
Are we trying to get it done before the fair?
It has to be done before the fair per the bid specs. They said it's about a 3-week job, so it'll be 4 or 5. But we hope they start it sooner than later, and they know it has to be done before the fair.
Yeah, that was my question with Helm.
I'll just interrupt 2 things. Could you turn on the microphones, because there are people who listen and then later on, they also do watch it on YouTube, and it helps a lot. So I appreciate that.
I was just gonna ask, that's my question with Helm, would we get a dedicated start date from them? Cause I know in project in the past, we've been pushed back and pushed back.
It wasn't required as part of the bid, but when we have that, when we send the notification, we'll get an idea from them, and then we'll firm that up, and I'll let you know for sure. Because we will certainly remind them repeatedly that it has to be done before then. So.
Any further questions, comments, discussion?
Brian, we'll just drop it. I mean, I know we have the set aside for the bridge too.
Yes.
What will this drop us to about after this? We'll still have like 500,000.
Somewhere close to that because we're always receiving revenue in that.
Right.
So, to give you a better idea, let me grab so we're at 900 right now, so it'll take us close to 300, and then that's what we've received.
So,
about
so to
each
be
year.
clear, you're talking about the 1% sales
Yeah,
tax fund.
yeah.
That's where the funding for this will come out of.
Yeah.
There's a $900,000 balance as of March 1st. And this is 300.
And we're getting about 300 a year now.
A little over 300 a year.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, would you call the roll?
Alderman Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz.
Yeah.
Happy,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Revelt, Tickler.
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Zettima.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item for action, possible action, sewer lining project bids were opened this morning. Which is why, we moved the regular council meeting to today. You have this is letter from Fair Graham, who was there to oversee the opening of the bids. You can see the two bids that came in close to 30% below estimate. Do you have any other comments to add to the bids?
Yes, I do, Mr. Mayor, thank you. As the mayor said, we are pleasantly surprised that this project came in well under the 100% grant funded project that this is. If and when you wish to award this bid, please make the motion to include the base bid and alternate bid together. That language has got to kind of be in there. And because this is 30% under the budget, as we get closer to it, we may have some change orders that will include doing some additional work, because we don't get to keep this money if we don't spend it. So we will spend $1,286,200.00, one way or the other. So you will see some change orders, because we'll probably do some additional manholes, do another sewer lining project somewhere within the approved area of the grant, but yes, we will. This is a great surprise, so we'll be able to do a little bit more for the money.
And the grant comes from,
Through the Department of Economic and Commerce Opportunity.
Okay.
To the state of Illinois.
Right, so state of Illinois, DCEO. Yes, okay, thank you.
So how long have we used that extra?
We have to do it quick. We have to do it essentially by the end of summer, I believe, by June 30th. So this is gonna happen pretty quickly.
So what we're gonna do, we won't have to put out for bids.
No, because we will, there'll just be add-ons to this bid. We won't have to redo additional bids.
Okay.
They would be change orders, yes,
Yes, there'd just
Okay.
be change orders.
and the grant is for a 1.2 plus,
Yes,
excellent. All right, is there a motion to approve the National Power Rotting bid, base bid plus alternate bid? It has to be in the motion. Or it's preferred that it is in the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve National Power Rodding's base bid and also their alternate bid.
Mahaffey moves,
Second.
Bruckner seconds. Any further questions, comments, discussion? Thank you. Would you call the roll, please?
Alderman Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Revelt, Tickler,
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Zettima.
Yeah,
Motion carries.
Okay. For action. An ordinance for a variance on the 304 North Jackson Street property. You've seen the minutes from planning and zoning. They recommended that approval. You approved those minutes. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance for variance?
So,
Second,
It's item number Mahaffey. Are there any discussions about this variance?
Property owners are here and if you wanna,
They're
make-
here, yes.
if you wanna make them talk.
Most of us are familiar with the property and where the garages lie. However you want, sorry if my English is wrong. All right, this we can do on a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion approved. Thank you very much. Appreciate you working with the process. We have reviewed the budget before last meeting. There's a slightly updated draft starting on your page 31. Would you like to highlight any changes? I think we discussed a number of the ways the budget has changed. You've also got a schedule of proposed project planning. You've got a document on the description of the various funds that are in our budget and how they're working, what we want to do with an economic development fund. I suppose that is the one change. Otherwise, this is for discussion. We would like to approve it for public posting April 14th.
Next week.
And then, all well in the world, approve it for implementation at the April 28th meeting with the new fiscal year starting May 1. So are there any questions on the budget? We went over it pretty well, I thought, last week. I got my questions answered. Are there any questions now, or do you have any comments, anything you'd like to draw the council's attention to?
Mr. Mayor, the only thing I'd like to add is some obvious things, and that is some of the narrative and the policies that I've added. In addition to just the numbers, we've already mentioned about establishing a separate and restricted fund for economic development, which would include, if the council considers any kind of TIF, or business district, some support for MADC that we have otherwise budgeted in the general fund, which would now be moved to this fund. And then a possible consideration to support the Sauk Valley Impact Program, the Mustang Challenge, for Morrison School District. In addition to that, I had to fine tune some of the part-time salaries to include the code enforcement officer. And there could be a fairly significant change depending how tomorrow goes with the public safety sales tax referendum. That's a big ticket item that will may change the general fund budget on Wednesday. So, but other than that, we're pretty close to the final draft that, of course, will be offered to you at the April 14th meeting. If there's something you would like to see different in the budget, please let me know. We're pretty tight right now, so if the council decides to fund something, that money is going to have to come from somewhere else, with the only exception if the public safety sales tax passes. So that is pretty much it in a nutshell.
Any questions, comments? Thank you for this work and for the documentation that accompanies it. All right. Starting on your page 82, discussion of an economic development fund. This has sort of existed in a placeholder. And with the further discussion of a TIF or a business development district, we might want to, for fiscal year 26, yeah,
Yes.
to establish this economic development fund. And you can see in the accompanying budget documents, a little placeholder for that as well. Do you have any further comments on that?
Yes, this is just a draft resolution to establish the fund, which would be part of the budget process. If the council supports it, this will be on your, at least on the agenda for the next meeting to establish. So we're one step ahead of that because if the council supports this, I would like to establish it yet this fiscal year. And then at the last meeting, make a general fund transfer into this fund that was otherwise budgeted for the TIF in the general fund. So we would essentially establish that fund, and then we would also have funding budgeted for the new fiscal year of 26. So this would be a separate motion, and we'll be one step ahead of the final ordinance for the budget plan for FY 26.
And once we establish it, then we'll down the road talk about how we want to see it and all things.
Right. This is just to establish the fund.
Yep.
And a baseline budget, of course, but that comes with everything.
Any other questions or comments? As you read the proposed resolution, please give your comments. Finally, we have had an idea to build a cemetery building, and we have a discussion about the possibility of using design build contract to make that quick. And the building is not going to be a huge undertaking. City administrator had written you a little description of the approach here. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, this is just basically just to tee this conversation off. As the mayor said, the city has been planning to replace the Grove Hill shop for some time. A couple years ago, you did set aside some money for this project. And then in 2023, the state statute, well, there's a new bill that passed that allows in the state statute under the statute given here. I'm not going to read it out, but it's basically a design build contract authorization act. It essentially allows a municipality to build a building in one step, in one formal action. So you essentially are approving a contractor that will do essentially everything for you, design it and build it, and take care of everything in between. And that's why I have this on the agenda for discussion, just to introduce that state statute that allows us. I ran into it. It was either at a training or a reading that I discovered that this new statute came about, I believe in 2023, which is perfect in what we've been talking about even back when we were considering a public works building, a street department building. This would have came in handy for then as well, even though we've now purchased Hunters. But this is really perfect for smaller municipalities that want to do a building of not grand scale. We're talking 2,200 square feet maybe for this building. I've already met with Alderman Zeidema once. And by the way, Alderman Zeidema, I'd like to meet with you again, and maybe one or two others that might be interested in discussing this a little further before we bring it before the council. But I've already been working with a local contractor to get an idea, to get a budgetary cost and how we can approach this. I don't know that we want to be our own contractor, because if we're our own contractor, then we have to bid everything out separately and I'm no engineer, and I'm not sure that's probably the best way of doing this. I think this now resource, I'll call it, through the state statute of the Municipal Design Build Authorization Act is probably our best bet. Because the public works building got out of control.
So it allows us to not have to fund engineering costs right up front. Is that
Right,
kind of,
right.
that's what you're saying, right?
And we kind of work through the process with the contractor. We set a
Right.
budget and this is what we want to do. And then we approve a contractor that way. And you really don't even have to go through the public bidding process to obtain that contract with the builder or with the contractor.
Wow, that's
So,
kind of wild.
like I said, this is ideal, and I think it was meant, I would suspect that it's meant for small municipalities. So,
Okay.
Gonna be very difficult, though, I think. Get right down to it.
what do you mean?
Well, this outfit might build a building and give you a price. The next outfit come along might give you a building that's different and give you a price. And each one of these builders is gonna have to go out and get a plumber, electrician, and who's gonna decide where all the light switches are and all the plumbing is and this and that.
Yeah, we are with the contractor. We need to decide
We're
this
gonna
in a nutshell.
design it. We're gonna design it completely.
We're gonna decide what we want before we go down that road. Because this is not gonna become one of those projects where it's a snowball effect and just, well, let's add this, add that, and we're gonna decide what we want, and then we're gonna base the bid and the contractor off that.
Like building a house.
Yeah, we can't get into that because then you're gonna end up paying a whole lot more money for a building that isn't really necessary. It's a basic build. We're not building a house. It's a basic shop with a small office and a bathroom on the one end of it.
Okay.
So,
So as they would say, watch this space. Any other comments, questions? As always, a motion to adjourn is in order.
Second.
Item Mahaffey. Is anybody opposed? All right, at 6:58, we are adjourned. Oh, yeah. That was noted before the meeting began.
the green ones, no. Something like that.
That's what I figured.
Nope, nope. nope.
Like a bird.
The red ribbon ones are.
This is mine.
Green is trimmed back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want these? Do you want me to take those back?
Could you sign them?
Yes.
I'll take them.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Kind of like building.
Elms.
You want your starters? Yeah. Here, sir.
They are out of.
Okay. It's that, yeah, it's that column. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Set. There was a possibility somebody might have come from junior achievement for the.